The Codex Umbra, by Emily Natsu. Narrated by Elizabeth Berry. Chapter 1. I regret to inform you, dear reader, that the story you are about to embark upon is not one of joy, merriment, or carefree adventures. It is, instead, a story of mysterious occurrences, unexplained phenomena, and a young girl whose life is about to take a turn for the bizarre. If you prefer stories about puppies, rainbows, or the delightful taste of cotton candy, I strongly advise you to close this book immediately and seek more cheerful literature. However, if you are brave enough to continue, prepare yourself for a journey into the unknown. Our story begins on a particularly gloomy Wednesday in the quaint town of Shadowvale, a place where the sun seemed to have forgotten its purpose and the clouds hung low like thick, gray curtains. It was on this dreary day that Beatrice Hartwell, a girl of 12 years and 7 months, discovered her peculiar ability. Beatrice, or Bea as she preferred to be called, though not a soul ever obliged her wishes, was an unremarkable child in most respects. She had mousy brown hair that refused to be tamed, a smattering of freckles across her nose that looked like a constellation of stars, and eyes the color of storm clouds. What set Bea apart, however, was her insatiable curiosity and her unfortunate habit of finding herself in the most precarious of situations. On this particular morning, Bea awoke to the sound of sirens wailing in the distance. This, in itself, was not unusual in Shadowvale, as the town had been plagued by a series of mysterious fires over the past few weeks. What was unusual, however, was the acrid smell of smoke that seemed to be seeping through her bedroom window. Bea leapt out of bed, her bare feet hitting the cold wooden floor with a thud. She rushed to the window, her heart pounding in her chest like a drum in a particularly energetic marching band. As she placed her hand on the windowsill to steady herself, something extraordinary happened. The world around her seemed to blur and shift, as if she were looking through a kaleidoscope. When her vision cleared, she found herself staring not at the familiar view of her backyard, but at a scene from what appeared to be the distant past. Before her eyes, Bea saw a group of stern-faced men in old-fashioned suits, gathered around a large bonfire. They were tossing books into the flames, their faces illuminated by the orange glow. Bea gasped, her hand instinctively pulling away from the windowsill. In an instant, the vision vanished, and she was once again staring at her overgrown backyard. Bea blinked rapidly, her mind struggling to process what she had just witnessed. Had she imagined it? Was it a particularly vivid daydream? Or had she truly...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?